What is the major news that you are announcing this morning?
For self-paying patients, starting today, patients can access Wegovy and Ozempic for $199 a month for the first few months, and then it moves to $349 a month.
Both of the popular GLP weight loss medications, including Eli Lilly's Zepbound, cost about $500 a month for those paying without insurance. Starting today, the self-pay price of Wegovy will drop to $349 a month, and self-pay patients can get the first 2 months of the lowest doses for $199. $349 is about what patients might pay for non-FDA approved compound versions.
For so long, the drugs were very expensive. Why now? Why the price reduction?
It really builds on some of the announcements that came out last week at the White House, where we've committed to expanding access and lowering the prices. We're pulling this forward a few months to start now instead of waiting until 2026.
In the U.S. alone, there's close to 100 million people living with obesity. Making these medications more affordable could help millions with obesity-related illnesses, including chronic kidney disease, MASH liver disease, and cardiovascular disease. In fact, a recent large study of semaglutide, the active ingredient in Wegovy, found it reduced the risk of major cardiovascular events like heart attack and stroke.
And we know that cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death in this country for men and women.
Absolutely. And it's so closely related to obesity and diabetes. And the fact that we are able to prove that there is a risk reduction is a really important element.
And on the horizon, non-injectable weight loss medications in the form of a daily pill, which they say will be even less expensive when available, starting at $149 a month.
We're very excited. The fact that we can have an oral GLP-1, which we'll call Wegovy pill, should be coming by the end of the year.
Moore told me the daily pill will be available in multiple doses, like the weekly injections, and effectiveness is anticipated to be very close to the injections. For now, competitor Eli Lilly has not made an announcement about reducing costs this year, and they too have a GLP-1 pill seeking FDA approval that they hope is available by next summer, starting at $149 a month too.
Eli Lilly is Zepbound, so that price is still up?
Yes, so that price is still around $499 per month, and they have not announced yet that they will be reducing costs. We expected both companies to do that in the coming year, and it's unclear if Eli Lilly will essentially make that decision now in response to what Novo Nordisk is doing, or wait until closer to next spring, summer, when the government is expected to have that lower price point. But the bottom line is the competition is good for patients, and you know, I asked David Moore about the competition, and he said, look, we challenge each other, we keep each other sharp, and at the end of the day, it's about advancing the science.
All right, but what about those that are on Medicare and Medicaid when it comes to these types of medications?
Well, Robin, so in the past, Medicare has not been able to cover just weight loss medicines alone, but that changed this month. What the White House announced that they will be changing this rule around obesity coverage. So about 10% of Medicare recipients will be eligible, and they will fall into 3 different groups, and the copay will be about $50. Those groups are overweight with underlying cardiovascular disease or prediabetes, obese with underlying uncontrolled heart failure, kidney failure, or hypertension, and then the last group is those who are severely obese with a BMI of over 35.
All right.
And Medicaid expect to do the same to follow suit.
Thank you for doing that report with the gentleman.
Thank you.
Good to see you doing that story for us.